As the 2024 election season unfolds, the topic of immigration continues to be a pivotal and divisive issue. Both the Biden and Trump administrations left a lasting impact on the nation's immigration policies, shaping the conversation for the upcoming election. In this video, we will delve into the key proposals put forth by both camps, highlighting the differing approaches to immigration reform. Biden's immigration policies. President Joe Biden, who assumed office in January 2021, has emphasized a more inclusive and compassionate approach to immigration. His administration has proposed several policies aimed at addressing the challenges faced by immigrants, while balancing national security concerns. Here are some key elements of Biden's immigration agenda. 1. Pathway to citizenship. One of the cornerstone proposals is a comprehensive immigration reform bill that includes a pathway to citizenship for the millions of undocumented immigrants residing in the United States. The bill seeks to create a more humane and efficient immigration system, providing eligible individuals with an opportunity to earn citizenship over an extended period. 2. Deferred action for childhood arrivals. Building on the Obama-era policy, President Biden has expressed support for DACA, which protects young undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children from deportation. The administration has indicated its commitment to fortifying and expanding these protections. 3. Asylum reforms. The Biden administration aims to overhaul the asylum system, streamlining the process for those seeking refuge in the United States. This includes addressing the backlog of asylum cases and implementing policies to provide a fair and efficient asylum process. 4. Border security. While emphasizing a more compassionate approach, the Biden administration has also committed to enhancing border security through technology and infrastructure improvements rather than relying solely on physical barriers. Trump's immigration legacy. Former President Donald Trump, known for his tough stance on immigration, implemented numerous policies aimed at securing the border and prioritizing the interests of American citizens. While some of these measures were controversial, they garnered significant support from those concerned about national security and economic impacts. Here are some key aspects of Trump's immigration policies. 1. Border wall. A defining feature of Trump's immigration agenda was the construction of a border wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. The idea was to curb illegal immigration and enhance national security by physically deterring unauthorized entries. 2. Travel bans. The Trump administration implemented several travel bans, restricting entry from specific countries deemed security threats. These measures were framed as necessary for protecting national security, but faced criticism for their potential discriminatory impact. 3. Zero-tolerance policy. Perhaps one of the most controversial measures was the zero-tolerance policy, resulting in the separation of families at the border. This policy sought to deter illegal immigration by criminally prosecuting all adults entering the U.S. without proper documentation. 4. Merit-based immigration. Trump advocated for a shift toward a merit-based immigration system, prioritizing individuals with specific skills, education, and job prospects. The idea was to attract immigrants who could contribute significantly to the U.S. economy. The immigration policies proposed by the Biden and Trump administrations represent contrasting approaches to a complex and multifaceted issue. As the 2024 election unfolds, voters will have to consider these proposals and their implications for the nation's identity, security, and economic prosperity. The immigration debate is likely to continue shaping political discourse, influencing voters' decisions, and ultimately determining the trajectory of U.S. immigration policies in the years to come. The year 2023 saw a significant increase in the number of migrants in the United States, with several reports indicating record highs. The foreign-born population in the U.S. reached an estimated 49.5 million in October 2023, according to the current population survey by the Census Bureau. This is a new high, representing 15% of the total U.S. population, another record. U.S. Border Patrol reported nearly 2.5 million encounters with migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border in fiscal year 2023. This is the highest number of encounters since at least 1980. Notably, The composition of migrants arriving at the border is changing. Data suggests that for the first time ever in 2023, over half of the irregular arrivals at and between ports of entry were from countries beyond Mexico and northern Central America. This signifies a broader trend of migration from various regions. While encounters increased, the number of apprehensions also reached record highs, estimated at 3.2 million in 2023. However, immigration officials removed a comparatively lower number, around 109,000 in 2022. This highlights the complexities of managing migration flows. The negative impact at border. In recent years, the United States has grappled with a significant migrant crisis, exacerbated by a multitude of factors including economic instability, violence, and political unrest in neighboring countries. However, amidst this crisis, one crucial aspect often overshadowed is the negative impact of the U.S. border itself on the migrants. The journey to seek refuge or a better life in the U.S. is fraught with peril, with the border acting as a barrier fraught with human rights violations, endangerment, and trauma. The first and most glaring negative impact of the U.S. border crisis on migrants is the perilous journey they undertake to reach it. Many migrants, often fleeing violence or extreme poverty, embark on long and treacherous journeys through deserts, jungles, and dangerous terrain, risking their lives in the hope of finding safety and opportunity in the U.S. This journey is rife with dangers, including dehydration, starvation, and exposure to extreme weather conditions. Thousands of migrants have lost their lives attempting to cross the border, their dreams cut short by the unforgiving landscape and harsh enforcement policies. Furthermore, the militarization of the U.S. border has led to increased violence and human rights abuses against migrants. The presence of Border Patrol agents, often armed and operating with wide-ranging powers, has resulted in numerous reports of excessive use of force, arbitrary detention, and mistreatment of migrants. Incidents of migrant deaths at the hands of Border Patrol agents, as well as reports of assault and harassment, highlight the grave human rights violations occurring at the U.S. border. The Trump administration's policy of family separation further exacerbated the negative impact of the U.S. border crisis on migrants, causing untold trauma and suffering. Under this policy, thousands of migrant children were forcibly separated from their parents, detained in overcrowded and inhumane conditions, and subjected to psychological distress with lasting consequences. While the policy has officially been rescinded, its legacy continues to haunt migrant families, many of whom remain separated with little hope of reunification. Moreover, the U.S. border crisis has led to the proliferation of human trafficking and exploitation of migrants by criminal organizations. Desperate and vulnerable, migrants often fall prey to smugglers, who promise safe passage across the border in exchange for exorbitant fees. However, many migrants end up being trafficked into forced labor, their hopes of a better life shattered by exploitation and abuse. The negative impact of the U.S. border crisis on migrants extends beyond physical harm to psychological trauma and long-term societal consequences. The constant fear of deportation, separation from loved ones, and uncertainty about the future takes a significant toll on the mental health and well-being of migrants. Many suffer from anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, struggling to cope with the trauma they have endured. In conclusion, the U.S. border crisis has had a devastating impact on migrants, perpetuating a cycle of violence, exploitation, and human suffering. Addressing this crisis requires a comprehensive approach that prioritizes human rights, compassion, and respect for the dignity of all individuals. Only by recognizing the humanity of migrants and addressing the root causes of migration can we hope to create a more just and equitable system that upholds the rights and dignity of all people, regardless of their immigration status.